The long night in Game of Thrones was supposed to be the battle to end all battles, the culmination of an age-old prophecy where light clashed against the darkness. Instead, we got Arya Stark with a quick stab and roll credits. But what if I told you that moment barely scratched the surface of what could have been? Dive with me into the icy depths of what the long night was meant to be, drawing from book lore, leaks, and fan theories that could have turned it into the epic event we deserved. Let's start with the prophecy of Azor Ahai, the prince that was promised. According to the books, Azor Ahai is a legendary figure destined to save the world from darkness. Fans speculated endlessly about who it could be. Jon Snow, Daenerys? Heck, even Jaime Lannister, but the show sidelined this prophecy entirely, leaving us with ambiguity. In George R.R. Martin's vision, the Long Night was always more than just a battle. It was a test of human will, alliances, and the bitter truth about magic. In the books, the Long Night is tied deeply to the Age of Heroes, the Children of the Forest, and the White Walker's origin. Bran the Builder, for instance, supposedly raised the wall with the help of the Children of the Forest, and maybe even giants. What if Bran's role as the three-eyed raven was to uncover the truth about this origin, not just sit in a chair and stare? The Night King, as depicted in the show, was an enigma, but in the books he could be tied to the Stark bloodline or ancient pacts made to balance ice and fire. One of the most compelling fan theories is that Bran is the Night King, not just metaphorically, but literally. Imagine this. Bran, in his attempts to warg into the past, accidentally becomes trapped in the body of the man who is turned into the first White Walker. His desperation to save humanity creates a time loop, where he becomes the very thing he's trying to stop. The show teased Bran's ability to alter the past, remember Hodor, but never fully explored it. This twist could have added a tragic layer to the final battle. Then there's Azor Ahai. The show hinted at Jon Snow being the prince that was promised, resurrected by the Lord of Light to face the darkness. But what if the prophecy required an ultimate sacrifice to forge Lightbringer, the legendary flaming sword? In the books, Lightbringer is said to have been tempered by plunging it into the heart of a loved one. Fans theorize Jon could have had to kill Daenerys or vice versa to fulfill this destiny. Imagine the heartbreak and moral complexity of such a choice in the heat of the Long Night. Daenerys' role in the Long Night could have been so much more. Her dragons were essentially weapons of mass destruction, but they're also deeply tied to the magical balance of the world. Some fans speculate that the dragon's flames could have been key to reawakening ancient magic, or sealing the White Walkers for good. Or maybe her vision in the House of the Undying, the throne room covered in ash and snow, wasn't about her downfall, but a glimpse into her destiny to end the White Walkers in a fiery blaze. The Children of the Forest and the Night's Watch's ancient connection could have been explored further. What if the Night's Watch was more than just an army, but a mystical order safeguarding secrets about the Long Night? Imagine Samwell uncovering ancient texts that explain the White Walkers' true purpose. Maybe they weren't invaders, but a response to humanity's exploitation of magic and nature. The children's role in creating the White Walkers could have been expanded, showing their regret and ultimate redemption. Now picture this. The final battle isn't a rushed episode, but a grand two-part epic filled with twists, turns, and unimaginable stakes. As the undead army swarms Winterfell, Jon Snow emerges as the leader humanity needs, shouldering the weight of his destiny as the prince that was promised. The battle isn't confined to one location. It stretches from Winterfell to the Wall, even reaching the Godswood, where ancient magic begins to stir. The first night is a desperate struggle. The army of the living, despite their unity, is pushed to the brink as wave after wave of White Walkers tear through their defenses. Daenerys rides Drogon, unleashing fiery destruction, but even Dragonfire proves ineffective against the Night King's elite. Bran, through his connection to the Weirwood network, unravels long-forgotten truths about the Night King's creation. It's revealed that the Night King's strength lies in a magical artifact buried beneath the wall, placed there during the Age of Heroes. Jon, realizing the scale of the threat, mounts Rhaegal and takes Grey Worm, Tormund, and a small band north to find the Horn of Winter, an ancient relic said to have the power to destroy the wall and weaken the Night King's magic. Meanwhile, the others hold Winterfell. As Jon's group braves the perilous journey north of the wall, they face harrowing ambushes from Whites and an unrelenting snowstorm conjured by the Night King. Nymeria's wolf pack unexpectedly appears, aiding them in their survival and taking down several Whites. Along the way, Tormund falls in battle, and Grey Worm sacrifices himself to hold off an advancing horde, leaving Jon to reflect on the heavy cost of this mission. They finally reach the Horn of Winter, buried in an icy tomb guarded by a ferocious undead beast. Jon uses Rhaegal's dragonfire to destroy the horn, causing an explosive surge of magic that weakens the Night King's hold over his army, but at the cost of further injuring Rhaegal. Returning to Winterfell, Jon finds chaos. The dead have overwhelmed much of the castle, and Daenerys is forced to engage in a desperate aerial battle against Viserion. Drogon manages to kill the undead dragon, but is gravely wounded in the process. Bran has been cornered in the Godswood, using his powers to delay the Night King. As the Night King marches toward Bran, Jon confronts him in an epic duel. The icy spectre reveals incredible combat skill, nearly overpowering Jon. Nymeria's wolves attack, momentarily distracting the Night King, allowing Jon to land a crucial blow. However, the Night King remains standing. In a final act of defiance, Jon calls upon all his strength and the remaining magic of Rhaegal's fire. Lightbringer, reforged from the ancient Valyrian steel blade and tempered in dragonfire, becomes a blazing weapon. Jon plunges the fiery sword into the Night King's chest, shattering him and causing the White Walkers and Whites to disintegrate. As the magic sustaining the wall and much of the undead collapses, the wall crumbles entirely, leaving a new scar on the northern horizon. In the aftermath, Daenerys is grief-stricken over the loss of her loyal, unsullied leader and the injuries to her dragons. This, coupled with the devastation of the realm and the people's continued distrust, sows the seeds of her eventual turn toward madness. Jon stands victorious, but burdened by the immense sacrifices and the knowledge that peace will remain fragile. In short, the Long Night episode in Game of Thrones is widely criticized for assassinating beloved characters and burying the show's rich lore. Key figures like Jon Snow and Daenerys, central to the Azor Ahai prophecy, are sidelined, while Arya Stark suddenly kills the Night King without foreshadowing. The White Walkers, meticulously built up as an existential threat, are abruptly defeated, leaving no exploration of their origin or purpose. Bran Stark's three-eyed raven powers are underutilized, and the battle's dark cinematography frustrated viewers. Fans felt the episode sacrificed meaningful storytelling for spectacle, undermining years of lore and character development.